Why is reading important? Reading develops the mind, helps us discover new things. It develops the creative side of us. What we become in the future depends a great deal on what we read. I have read tons of fairy tales to my kids and my pupils. At some point, I felt it was time to move on to the next level. So we started giving classic fairy tales new twists. Let me present you one of these adaptations. Town Musicians of Bremen by Brothers Grimm belong to classic fairy tales, but I have tried to make it relevant to today's world. Please allow me to read you a short summary of this classic fairy tale, and then I will present you my version, hoping it will inspire you to give new twists to your favorite stories, or maybe even read new stories and upgrade them with your creative ideas. Once upon a time, an old and tired donkey ran away from his owner because he heard he was about to be sold to a butcher. The poor animal had to work carrying bags around the mill, and it was no surprise he was out of strength. The owner gave him less and less food, so he became weaker. In the end, the owner thought it was best to get rid of him. The donkey was very unhappy about his owner's decision and decided to leave him before he ends up in the butcher shop. While he was wandering, he came across a hunting dog. The dog also decided to run away from his owner in order to avoid bad fate. The two sad animals started walking towards Bremen. They needed food, so they decided to become musicians. They also met an old cat and a rooster on their way, and they also joined them. The cat's owner wanted to get rid of him because he wasn't good at catching mice anymore, and the rooster's owner wanted to prepare him for dinner. They walked and walked until sunset. They couldn't reach Bremen, but they found an old wooden shack where they spent the night. When they looked out the window, they saw burglars preparing a tasteful dinner. They had a wonderful idea. They decided to sing under their window and earn their food. The dog climbed onto a donkey, cat onto the dog, and the rooster on the cat. When they started singing, it sounded like they were yelling. The burglars thought a wild animal is going to attack them, so they got scared and ran away. When the burglars ran away, the animals finally had something to eat and a place to sleep before they go to Bremen. One of the robbers went back to the shack to see if there was a real animal there. As soon as he stepped in, the cat scratched him. After that, the donkey kicked him with his hoof, and the dog bit him. The burglar never came back into the shack again. They were very proud of themselves because they stood by each other's side when they needed to. The animals lived in the shack until they died. They enjoyed good food and quality friendship. And this is a little bit different version. So, does everything happen with a reason? What do you think? Do you believe in destiny? This is a story of four animals. Donkey Ezel, that's his name, he comes from Dalmatia. Dog Zorzi from Dalmatia, who lives in Germany. Cat Kitty from Italy, and a rooster Adam from France. Their owners don't want them anymore because they are too old. They met on the street while roaming around and decided to accept Donkey's proposal to go to Bremen and become a rock band. Why Bremen? Well, because Donkey's cousin, dog Zorzi, has been living in Bremen for ages and pursues career of a very successful manager. Zorzi left Split when he was very young because he couldn't find a decent job in Dalmatia. And this is what happened to these animals. When the cat Kitty was young, her owner liked her a lot and now wants to trade her for a younger one. They went to so many parties together, traveled the world, stayed at luxurious hotels, and now he just wants a younger one. But she has always wanted to be a singer, and now she has a chance. Over in France, an older lady, owner of Adam the Rooster, decided to make coq au vin. That means she decided to cook him in wine and invite the whole family for the feast. And do you know why? Because he's old, he's started sleeping long hours, he doesn't wake up her in the morning anymore, and isn't so productive anymore. Donkey's owner also wanted to sell him to the local butcher shop because Ezel couldn't work so hard anymore. So finally, all the animals have realized they haven't met by chance. Everyone we meet is there for a reason. So they all went to Bremen and became a popular rock band. And Kitty's dream came true. That was a bit different story, okay? And now I have a task for you. So, Little Red Riding Hood, we all know who that is. So, what kind of girl is she? Kind, nice, sweet, right? Okay, but imagine this. Imagine that Little Red Riding Hood is a bully. So what happens in the story now? What do you think? If I have inspired you, you can write your own Little Red Riding Hood. If you don't feel like writing, you can record your story on this webpage, vocaroo.com. Or you can scan the QR code and it will lead you directly to this webpage. And then share the link of your story with your teacher and your classmates. There are other options to create your story, like a comic or a video story. Anyways, as friend Lebowitz says, think before you speak, read before you think.